at Mount Shasta up there, Russ? I'm at Tahoe. So what's the weather doing up there with your screen?
We finally have water in Lake Shasta. I don't know if you saw the picture last year, but it was empty. This year it's full and beautiful. So
nice.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, cool. Awesome. Well, hey, as everyone comes in, hey, Trevor, what's happening? Kenny, let's go. All right. There's Patrick, the legend, the myth. Yeah. All right. Oh, man, Brett Schwartz, what's happening?
What's going on, guys? Good to see you.
Hey, Oscar. Cool. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Russ. Let's rock and roll. Atomic Habits. Here we go.
Yeah, sure. I thought we were going to do a little music. Let's cue up the music. Get everybody fired up.
Okay, Eric, let's go with the music. Seconds. Let's go.
And then we'll get to rocking. You can't miss Eye of the Tiger. I mean, let's go. Maybe we can miss Eye of the Tiger.
Karaoke. We're going to have some karaoke at EXPCon.
Yeah, maybe we are going to have little issues with getting this to play.
All right. No worries. Every Wednesday, frozen, I don't hear Eye of the Tiger. I don't know how to get fired up.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, then I will start. Ooh, here we go. We got more people. Hey, we have a special treat for you this week. We're going to have a really good friend of mine, Serina Lowden, who's going to come in and she's going to teach a HUD class. But what we have decided to do is kind of a little recognition and talk about, EXP. Obviously, you guys know we are EXP, fastest growing, only profitable, publicly traded real estate company, 2 of the last 3 quarters. Nobody else is even close. For those of you who don't know, we're about ready to break 90,000 agents, which is awesome. I think I have 2 guys on to highlight. If not, I'll highlight at least one of them. The first one up is Joseph Lorenzini. Joe has only been in real estate this year. He started in January. And I can only pull 6 month numbers, but he's way over 200 grand in the last 6 months. And I made up a really fun quote for him here. He actually brought over some folks from Coldwell Banker underneath him. One of them was his mom's partner, and his mom's partner had never seen a commission with no commission split, which is pretty awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing for a second so Joe can pop on and tell us, what's his key to success and what would he share with the group?
What's up, guys? Good morning.
Good morning.
I think for me personally, it was just the years in law enforcement, years in public, just serving the public, right? 20-something years. So you're out talking to people, getting to know people. That came naturally. The phrase "everyone has to live somewhere" makes it, at least in my head, was simple, right? Like, you're gonna live somewhere, and if you don't already own a home, the benefits of owning a home are pretty easy to lay out. So the EXP model has been interesting in the sense of, like, Russ does so many different things. I just was like, hey, I'm going to learn how to do it and then add to what I need. So slowly but surely, these meetings have been super helpful in understanding everything that EXP does that I don't know, which is a lot.
Well, Joe is very humble. I mean, everybody knows this is probably one of the tougher years we've had in a long time. He's a total of, 8-ish months into real estate. And over the last 6 months, he's done over 200,000 in GCI, well over 200,000 in GCI. So super impressive. And then did Kyle jump on? Kyle, are you here? Because Kyle is a rock star. He's being coached by Don Yoakum. And Kyle is just a hair shy of 200 grand in the last 6 months. And if he's not here, I just want to highlight 2 of the new agents in our group. So we have Nima and Jose. Nima is an ADU guy. He does ADUs and real estate. His wife's a full-time recruiter. So you can know what their plan's going to be here at EXP. And then Jose was at EXP, went over to Keller, and then realized that getting into the right group at EXP was a big deal. So he came back. So Nima, if you would share potentially like the number one thing that you've seen that you love so far? And then right after that, Jose, if you could, that would be great.
Hey, everybody. Well, number one thing I think has been the culture. I think it's been a really cool company. It definitely seems like they've broken down the pricing model to a way that works for everybody. So I think it's going to be easy to keep building this company and incentivizing other people to keep coming over as well, too. So really excited about it.
Cool. And then, hey, Nima, before Jose goes, what's an ADU cost in Sacramento, Placer, El Dorado counties? Are they all different? And what sizes do you build for folks?
It's slightly different, but we're around $225 per square foot, depending on the exact lot size, if it's accessible, how far the utilities are. But it's around $225, and it can build up from there.
Very cool. And then, Jose, how about you, my friend?
Hi, everyone. Yes. So yeah, no, I was with EXP first. That was last year. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. Kind of looked for some guidance, found some at Keller Williams, joined a really cool team, got a whole, routine going, kind of really understood what a realtor was supposed to be doing day to day. Got a couple transactions going, and I felt pretty comfortable, kind of leaving the full on team and kind of doing something, myself. Also with a commission split, I wasn't crazy with, to be honest. And then, EXP's model is amazing. It's like you're literally getting paid to help build your own team, and it's not, you're not taking a whole bunch from your agents too, which I think is great, because it makes sense for a company to reward you for bringing up other productive agents. So that's something I really like about EXP, and that's my back.
No, fantastic. We're super excited to have you. And by the way, Jose is not afraid to do open houses. He gets rave reviews. He does a bunch of mine for me. So if anybody has something open for him, feel free to direct message him. So anyway, those a little bit of recognition and an introduction of a couple new folks. And with that, I want to introduce an absolute rock star. Runs a number of brokerages throughout the country. Well respected in the REO community, teacher of new folks, certified in just about everything I've ever seen at real estate, and just super humbled to be able to call her a friend. And she is a absolute HUD rock star. And so I asked her if she would join us this morning and share some expertise around HUD. And so with that, I don't want to steal any more thunder, and I'll turn it over to Serina. And Serina, I've allowed you to share. So if you need to share a deck, feel free.
All righty. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for that warm welcome, Russ. You really just pumped me up. I'm feeling good. I see a lot of familiar faces. I see the one and only Mr. Don Yoakum on the call, and Tom Daves and Amir. Thank you for allowing me to share my little bit of experience with HUD with you guys. So with that said, just a couple of house cleaning rules, please. I can't share my slides with you because the HUD presentation is always changing. But if you want to sneak a snapshot of something, I can't stop you there, but I can't share the slides. And then this presentation is normally an hour, so I'm going to be talking really fast like this. So if you have any questions, just put that in the chat, all righty? But I'll try to explain thoroughly as much as I can. So with that said, I will share my screen. Okay. And let's see here. There. All righty. Can everyone see my screen? All right, just shake your head. Yes, I don't feel alone out here on the ledge. All right, thanks, Russ. All right, so successfully selling HUD homes, 3646 and 56. So the question is, what is a HUD home? Let me move my screen up here. Okay, the definition is 1 to 4 single-family units that acquired as a result of a foreclosure on an FHA-insured mortgage. It's offered for sale at fair market value, and it's based on the recent appraisal. It varies in price, location, and condition. HUD homes for sale are throughout the state, and they're usually move-in ready. They're also sold as is. Understand what does as is mean. No warranties, guarantees, or representations about HUD properties, FHA insurable or otherwise. No repairs except with the exception of it being safe, secure, and marketable. Buyers allowed and encouraged to get independent home inspections, and buyers do not typically acquire the bills or the liens. That's usually paid off during the sale. HUD contracts. Who's involved? HUD. We have our HUD Ownership Center is in Santa Ana. We have our Mortgage Compliant Manager, which is called the MCM. Our field reps is Guardian Asset. That's called FSM, and they cover the entire state of California. Our asset manager is a team, and there's one manager per state. And then we have several local listing brokers. Our nationwide contractor, they use Information Systems Network, and they're based out of Oklahoma. They perform a variety of pre and post convenience services to ensure that HUD interest is protected. They are in conveyance condition, guidance to mortgagees regarding claims and conveyance, and ensure the marketable title. Okay. All right. What does a field manager does? They inspect the properties, they secure the properties, and they perform cosmetic enhancement repairs. And they also provide ongoing maintenance. So when you go into a HUD property, it should be broom swept. Minor repairs are done, but again, they're all sold as is. You can always visit the HUDhomestore.gov to check out any properties that are available. Asset managers are asset managers. They manage and market the sale process of properties. They ensure properties are accurately and competitively valued. They make sure sales achieve the highest net return for HUD. They minimize property holding time, reviews and awards HUD bids, purchase contracts. We'll talk about that later. They handle closing and accounting funds and provide customer service and measures client satisfaction. As we all do. Our local listing brokers' responsibilities. We're responsible for putting the home on the market, place a sign in the yard, provide routine inspections and reports. We provide and perform BPOs and pricing advice. Customer service should be great, and informational resource on HUD listings and the sale process. We provide a wide market exposure of HUD sales process and the properties. We deliver and make sure that the escrow company gets the initial deposit, and we are required to have quarterly training. Sales process. All right, just make sure that your brokerage is signed up with HUD and they do have their HUD number. Brokerages, it's not you individually, your brokerage must have their HUD number. And when a broker registers with HUD, the brokerage will receive a name number, which will be used by all the agents in your office. And I know that Russ has, and Tom has everyone taken care of, and I'm sure that you guys have your NATE number. All right, to become registered, your principal broker will need to register. Like I said, what's important in these packages, just so you know, you have your regional, the package is sent to the regional homeownership center. You got to make sure it's accurately and it's completed. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks and it's renewed annually. All right, anyone who can buy a HUD home, so good stuff. Buyers will fall into 1 to 3 categories. It's either owner-occupied, investor, or it's a government agency and HUD-approved nonprofit organizations. What types of buyers? Owner-occupied. Given priority during the exclusive listing period, they must occupy the property for at least 1 year, and you cannot participate in a HUD sale for 2 years after purchase. Investors will be able to bid during the extended listing period. No restriction or quantities required, and it's a different bidding cycle than the owner-occupied. So they bid completely different. The benefits of buying a HUD, it pays 3%. Yay. It's for owner-occupants only. If it's a condo or a townhouse, project approval is not required. So if you're writing offers on a HUD property, it's in a condo division, it doesn't have to be approved. That project does not have to be approved. HUD will still move forward. i.e. financing types have the option of doing an FHA standard loan with escrow pair. Owner-occupant is priority bidding period. So they have priority bidding. And your deposits could be either $500, $1,000, or $2,000. That's pretty cool. Benefits of buying. Okay, the Good Neighbor Next Door, GNND program is available in certain areas for eligible buyers, And all the properties are listed on the HUDhomestore.gov. So write that down if you don't know. We pretty much have quick responses to the bids. It's typically within 24 hours of the bidding deadline. FHA 203K owner-occupied rehab loans are available. And did you know if it's FHA financing is used, a termite inspection treatment is paid by HUD? That's pretty cool. But they will only clear active infestation. The SIDs are bids are sealed, so I don't get to see the bids. Thank you, Jesus. I don't have to have anyone calling me upset. And the bids are transparent. All right, HUD special programs. Properties eligible for HUD special programs will list a lottery round for 7 days before they're listed for sale to the public. There's 2 types of lottery round eligible bidders. The Guinea May and the HUD approved nonprofit are eligible bidders. And information on becoming a HUD approved nonprofit organization, you can go to HUD.gov. If you have a nonprofit, you want to get on their approved list, go to HUD.gov. All right, Good Neighbor Next Door is designed to enhance communities by offering discounts on HUD homes to firefighters, EMTs, police, and teachers. You probably should be marketing them. You want to get them in a HUD home. They get 50% off property list price, and they only need $100 down payment. Wow. Requirements. Property must be located in designated areas. Buyer must live in the home for at least 36 months. Buyer nor spouse may not have owned title to a property within 1 year. And the bidder nor spouse cannot ever before have participated in the GNND program.
Hey, Serina.
Yes.
There must be a typo. It says that firefighters, EMTs, police, and teachers get 50% off the list price. So if it's like listed for $250, it's saying that they get it for $250.
That's correct. It's 50% off.
What?
300, 150, 400, 200. Yeah. So who should you be marketing? Who should we be marketing?
Joe Lorenzini needs to go back to the police station.
Right. Right. You just got to make sure these HUD properties start coming on the market. They're trickling in, though. They're picking up quite a bit. Thank you for addressing that. The bid must be 100% of the list price. The amount of so you have to still bid it, but you get the 50% off. Okay. The amount of the earnest deposit, initial deposit required is an amount equal to 1% of the list price, but no less than 500 and no more than 2,000. They can utilize any type of financing or cash. If FHA financing on GNND must qualify for the entire contract amount prior to the discount. Okay. They can finance into mortgage all reasonable and customary closing costs, including prepaids and real estate commissions. HUD will not pay any closing costs or real estate commission. That's on those programs. Okay. Bidding on HUD homes. This is important. Who can sell a HUD home? Any licensed broker registered with HUD or an agent employed by HUD registered broker. A NAID is required, as I said. Broker and agent must also register at HUDhomestore.gov. So your broker's already, they have their NAID number, but you still need to go register. HUD registered broker and real estate agent must submit bid on behalf of the owner, investor, or good neighbor next door purchaser. Registered nonprofit organizations and government entities may submit bids without the use of a real estate agent. Okay, but if you're representing them, make sure you represent them because you won't get paid. All right, here's what the application looks like for you agents who need to register. You just go to the website I told you to, and you're going to go to NAID application portal. You're going to click here, principal brokers and preparers only. So this is for your broker to get their NAID number, but you guys already have it. And if you were going to apply, which your broker already has it, I don't think you need this as an agent, but just in case, you need your social security card, copy of your driver's license, broker license, copy of the first page of a recent bill. I think this pertains to the brokerages. Fill out the entire application, original signatures only. If signatory to a voluntary affirmative marketing agreement between HUD and your local board, just check the box. You'll see that when you see application, and use your most recent bill. NAID requirements, additional information. I'm not going to really go into that because your brokerage has their NAID number. Just make sure you register as an agent. All right, let's skip this here. We don't need to talk about this anymore. You already know what to do. Your broker already has it. So we're going to skip all this. All right, how to show a HUD home just like you would any other property. Make sure you have your MLS combo lockbox. We don't use combo codes anymore. MLS cracked down on that a few years ago. So you're going to do like you normally would, showing a property, use your Supra, and of course, follow the instructions that the agent put on the MLS. All right, we don't need to talk about COVID-19. We already know about that. Please make sure that your client is pre-approved. They must have a pre-qualification letter or pre-approval letter, or they will not get seen. If this is cash, just make sure they have their funds verified, and make sure you have your documentation referencing that. All right, and just making sure that your buyers truly qualify. You guys, I could tell you so many times our offers will come in, or I'll get a question and they don't complete their package for the simplest things like not having their approval letter or their proof of funds. What needs to be included on your pre-approval letter, pre-qual letter, just make sure the purchaser's name's on there, not anyone else. Make sure it's the amount of the loan, and make sure the lender's contact information and a signature. We all get an approval letter. Sometimes there's no signature. You got to have that on there. It can't be just a name and a number. So make sure that's fully completed. You'll get kicked back. You guys know the importance of submitting a solid qualified buyer, so I don't need to go over that. I'm sure that your team lead there has coached you on that. Overbidding with finance, with FHA financing, just make sure if you're overbidding, be careful with that. We encourage buyers to submit their bids based on what they believe to be the appropriate market value for the property, okay? Now I'm gonna read this in red. If the buyer wishes to renegotiate the purchase price of a HUD home, the contract must be canceled and the property will then be placed back on the market, available for everyone. So if you make a bid, make sure it's the correct bid the first time. All right, we don't need to talk about that anymore. These are some listing codes, acronyms, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know all the acronyms in our normal contracts. Just spell it out for me. Just kidding. All right, F flood zone, HOA, homeowners association, lead-based paint, LBP. Stipulations for HUD to complete a lead-based paint like any other property must be built before 1978, owner occupied. FHA financing must meet all the conditions above. Requests made to FSM for inspections through the asset manager. HUD will fund up to $4,000 for stabilization exceeding $4,000. HUD will either cancel the contract and the buyer receives all their money back, 100%. Allowed to change financing to 203 conventional or 203 streamline. Okay. You have any questions on that? Okay, good. Insurable, i.e. insurable with escrow, UI uninsurable. I'm not going to go through that. Repair escrow only applies to FHA financing, just to clarify that. Remember, there's no repairs prior to closing. We all know that. Bidding periods, properties will be listed daily as they become available. Lottery properties included in special programs, general market listings on all other properties. Sealed bidding or exclusive bidding bids will accumulate over the entire length of the bidding period and will be reviewed the day after the close of this period. So timelines are stated, and daily bidding or extended bidding to the individual is a 24-hour bidding process. Lottery round listings, they are 7 days before it goes to the public. It's only for general government agencies, nonprofits, and a good home next door buyer. All right. General market listings, insured, uninsured with repair escrow, 30 days owner occupant exclusive, 10 days accumulated sealed bidding. It's followed by 5 days daily bidding, and all bidders are allowed on the 16th day. Uninsured is 5 days owner occupant exclusive sealed bidding, and all bidders allowed on the 6th day. Okay. All right, I'm not going to really go into this here too much.
Serina, for clarification, if you can go back one slide. So for example, sorry, I guess you don't need to go back a slide. It's just, those are the periods that if they don't get sold in that first period, then they go to the next period, right? If they happen to get sold in the first period, it's over, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, cool.
And there's two different categories there. There's one that was at 14 days and there's one at 6 days. Okay.
Serina, I know this is going back a bit, but I don't feel like I quite understand the benefit to the firemen, police, and so forth to get it said a 50% discount, but is that just that they get to start at a lower bidding rate? What do they end up usually getting the properties for as a percent of value, would you say?
Well, they get 50% off of the list price, basically. So if they made 50% off their offer price. Okay. But there's designated areas for that. And normally they're in the lower moderate locations. Okay. So they do get 50% off the offer price. So if your purchase price is,
yeah, for example, so if you brought a property to market, say, let's say 550 in one of those marginal areas that qualified, and I'm a fireman and I make a bid of 600 and I happen to be the winner, I actually buy it for 300.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
How long do they have to occupy?
I got it now. But you're saying that what percentage of the HUD homes would you say end up with this qualification where they're available at that 50% discount?
What percentage of
the HUD homes
properties that are out there?
Because you said that the ones that qualify for that 50% discount.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what percentage of these areas that are available, because right now the inventory is a little low. So the percentage will be hard for me to tell you when we're just now starting to pick up HUD listings. So I think I could say 1%, not a lot right now, just because the inventory is low.
Yeah.
I think I've received about 3 listings this year, and there's a few other agents that's received about 2 to 3, and there's probably about 5 of us. But I can see that the inventory is picking up. Okay, but even if you market that particular category of people, there's still other homes out there for them that they can qualify for being a peace officer or a first responder. The cool thing is that if you can find one, it's 50%. So just keep an eye on that as the inventory picks up.
Right. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Patrick, were you going to say anything?
Yeah, I was just curious if they did buy it, how long they have to occupy it.
I think it said, I don't remember what it said. I thought it was 36 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But if you send me a text message, I can give you that. I just don't remember. I was going so fast. I think it's 36 months. So.
Okay.
All right. I'm not going to go into this too much. I don't really have too much time. So we'll talk about commission a little bit. Let me kind of talk about the offers because we have a lot more to go. But just keep in mind when you're making offers at the website, and you're allowed, for example, the bidding process, you're allowed 7 days. Don't wait to that 7th hour, that 7th minute, that 7th day to make your offer. Because what happens is if you make an offer, let's just say 3 people make that same amount of offer, HUD is going to pick the one that comes in first. So a lot of offers, like I've received offers and agents, it'll close. Oh, my offer was the same amount. Well, the other offer came in like 3 days before yours because there's agents out there who just lollygag and take their time and get their offer in at the last minute. And that's how you miss out. And also, if you make offers, like I had an offer out in Wilton, a listing out in Wilton, and it was listed extremely high. I mean, I don't know who did the BPO on this property, but it was like $300,000 or $400,000 overpriced. I mean, it was like, I was sick because I didn't want to lose this. It's a 3% commission, right? So the offers came in, they kept getting rejected. And I kept telling agents, just resubmit your offer, just keep resubmitting it. some agents listen to you and think you're just BSing them, and some agents don't listen. They just think you're blowing smoke, and some agents listen. And I had this one particular agent that just kept making an offer. His offer was really low. And eventually the house was listed for like 1.2 million or something like that. And he finally got his offer accepted at like 875. And he was the only one that did what I recommended. He kept making his offer. And then right at that 30 days, when it was time for a price reduction, his offer got accepted. And all the other agents were emailing me, of course. Why didn't my offer get accepted? It was much more. Well, they rejected it. I told you to keep submitting your offer because you just never know. So just be careful with that when you're making offers on any property, but especially a HUD home. Okay. Bids can be submitted 24/7, but are not reviewed on federal holidays and weekends. Bids submitted on Friday will be reviewed on Monday, unless Monday is a federal holiday, then Tuesday. The deadlines are at 11:59 Central. Okay, so that's 2 hours ahead. So be careful with that. You don't want to not get your offer reviewed timely. And then a buyer may only submit one bid per property during the Friday, Saturday, Sunday timeframe if those days fall inside of the same bidding period. Additional notes on bidding, pretty simple. Friday, Saturday, Sundays bids are considered the same bidding group. So it's the following. It's on Monday, and this is a holiday. Winning bids selected automatically by HUD systems. They don't go in there and look at it, and it's automatically selected by the system. If the A team receives 2 acceptable bids, which are the exact same price, a bid will be selected in the order it was submitted, just like I said. Bid cancellation for any reason, you cancel a bid. So what are the reasons for canceling? Failure to submit your contract, failure to submit an accurate contract package. These are the reasons why your package could be rejected. The deposit will be, so if it's a failure to submit an accurate contract package, the deposit will be returned to the selling agent by the listing agent broker. The agent buyer cancels voluntarily. Bid cancellation form is sent to the selling agent to be submitted to the closing attorney for release of funds. All right. Check bid results. Checking bid results on the bid deadline day. All offers are reviewed and then accepted, rejected, or counteroffered. You will be notified via email if your bid is accepted, and the information will be posted at the HUDhomestore.gov under your bidding functions. The local listing broker is available to assist you with submitting your contract or any deposit issues and buyer selected closing attorney information. So just keep in mind that normally when we put the house on MLS, we're going to tell you what escrow company that we recommend to use because they've already pulled prelims, et cetera, and it just makes it convenient. But of course, the buyer has the right to choose their closing company. Yes, Mr. Yoakum?
Yes, I was wondering, or Treva and I are wondering, how do you identify in the listing whether or not this HUD home is in a designated area that would qualify for that 50% discount? Is that in the remarks or is it somewhere else in the listing that's clearly identifiable? Can you, in other words, could you search by it?
Yeah, you can search. Normally, there's a list of designated areas that we have access to. So that's why it's good for agents to be on these courses and these workshops. So that way they understand if they do have clients like that, they know what to do because you won't know. But normally what I've heard, because I haven't had one yet, they'll just ask the agent, is this in a designated area? So as a real estate agent, a professional that we are, we should know about HUD properties and what to do and what's required. Because most local listing brokers, they're probably not going to put it in the MLS if it's in a designated area. I would, because I'm going to figure, I pretty much know what areas that's going to be. So I would probably say something like, send message to see if this qualifies for a designated area. Just going to have to just ask the question.
Got it. Because Treva is in Denver, Colorado, though, so obviously different state. I'm wondering if HUD has some kind of national system for that.
They do. I'm with Serina. I'm qualified to do these, and you can go onto the HUDhomestore.gov and you type in, or you on the search for the GNND program. It's a drop down, and then also you can pick the state. So you can pick the state, then you can pick the GNND, and if it qualifies, it'll show up.
Got it.
Could you put
Thanks,
that in
Russ.
the chat, Russ?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just asking Russ, maybe he could quickly put that in the chat because I started to write that down and I didn't quite get it all.
HUDhomestore.gov.
But then you go where? To the.
Click your state.
I just put it in the chat.
Okay, thanks.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you very much, Patrick.
All right, Don, no more questions from you. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm struggling, Russ, but I'm making it. Just kidding. All right. Counter offers. All offers within an acceptable range of the HUD threshold will be countered with the final acceptable net to HUD. Because your bid may not be the only offer countered, please respond with your best offer. Okay, make that best offer the first time. Do I have more time, Russ?
Yeah, you have about 8 more minutes.
Okay. We're not going to go through the earnest money deposit. I think you guys get the hint on that. When an agent places a bid, additional information is required that was not previously needed. Make sure all information is accurate to avoid delays, and read all the instructions and follow up timely. That is so important to make sure you read all the instructions. Read all emails from DocuSign, HUD Home Store, and the A team, and me, the local listing broker, to ensure a smooth process. Okay. I can tell you how many agents don't read instructions. I mean, go on and on. You probably see that normally, but it's really important that you make sure you get that done. All right. What if the escrow company is not listed? So I just skipped that page. So try to use the escrow company that's recommended by the agent, because there's things that are needed. The company, if the company location is not listed on that drop down, because when you enter your package, there's a drop down that comes up, and there's a list of approved escrow companies that you can use, because they're going to need a title ID. They're going to need E&O insurance for verification. So it's just best to use the escrow company that's recommended, or select an escrow company from the drop down menu on the site. All right. Let's see, the A team. Okay. So that once your bid is accepted, the agent must submit certified funds. It's going to be a money order or check to the local listing broker, and you have 2 business days of the bid acceptance to get that in. The local listing broker will complete a document confirming that they have received the funds. The 18 Realty will email a link for the agent to review the online contract package prior to it being sent to the buyer for e-signing. And the buyer e-signs, then the selling qualifying broker signs it. That's the order of how that goes. All right. In order for a contract to be sent for DocuSign, the agent must upload items into their checklist for approval within 48 hours of the bid acceptance. And you must include proof of funds or pre-qual letter, the deposit receipt, which you get from the agent, the local listing broker, with a copy of the check, and the broker designated signer form. That's the form that we have that we fill out and send out. And then the listing broker will provide the buyer's agent with the receipt confirmation page upon receipt of the deposit. All right, so you can log into your HUD Home Store account and click accepted bids. That's how you get your information. Once the A team is able to generate the e-signature envelope, the agent who placed the bid on HUD Home Store will receive an email via DocuSign to review the contract packet before signatures are requested. So make sure you review that. The agent will not sign anything at this time. They are just reviewing the package for accuracy. Approving a contract packet for signatures. Once they click finish and confirm that the package is ready for signatures, emails are sent to the parties needing to sign in the following order: the broker designated signer, the buyer selected closing company, and the A team. Do not forward the contract for signature via email. The system will do this automatically, so be sure not to do that. Once A team Realty has signed, that's the asset management company, has signed the contract and executed the file, all parties who signed the package will receive another email with a copy of the fully executed package. For contract corrections, you have 1 business day to return corrected contract. The contract will be canceled or awarded to the next highest bidder if the contract is returned still containing errors. Be careful with that. I mean, there's always errors, and sometimes the asset manager will give extra days, but just keep in mind and have the rule that you have 1 day to get that done. Since submitting amendments, contract corrections, revisions, and amendments can be submitted via email. Various amendments can be found under the resource tab on the 18realtyinc.com website. And if you have questions about that, you can email your local listing broker who you're writing the offer with. Amendments are not valid unless approved in writing by both seller and purchaser. And the A team is only able to modify terms of contract and process any changes to the contract. So don't scratch out, wipe out, change something. Only they can do that. All righty. Amendments may take up to 72 hours to process. So keep that in mind. All right. Once we go on the contract, 15-day due diligence period. Owner-occupied borrowers will be able to get their home inspections anytime during the process. These are optional and highly recommended. You must have a FSM authorize your home inspection. It cannot begin a process until the contract is signed. You know that. You have 48 hours to complete home inspection after the last utility is turned on. And you must turn off utilities after inspection. So you turn them on, you turn them off, your client. All right, let's see. No changes have occurred within the process. Please view the agent information tab of the property details at the HUDhomestore.gov for the FSM assigned to the property. The agent resources page on the 18 website also featured the FSM's utility activation authorization form. So remember, you have to have that form signed and filled out to get the power on. Termite letters, stipulations for HUD to approve a termite and WDO letter. State or zone mandated FHA financing must have a lender required letter and must meet either of the above conditions. And number 1, HUD will fund treatment and repairs. We talked about that. If the property does not meet the above conditions, the buyer can have inspections performed at any time at their own cost if their contract is accepted. That's for the termite, not for work. Buyer will be responsible for treatment and repairs after closing. Reminder, buyers cannot move in or start repairs prior to closing. Selling agents must accompany buyers, inspectors, etc. to HUD properties at all times prior to closing. You know that already. Closing protocol, FHA conventional, it closes, they give you 45 days from contract acceptance. Cash, 30 days. 203K, 60 days. That's pretty cool. And closing can occur prior to these timelines as long as attorney submits documentation to 18 5 days prior to closing date. All right, so extensions. They will give extensions, but it's going to cost you money. The property is within these categories. This is the fee per day. This is the time period. And this is the total cost. Pretty self-explanatory. Extensions must be submitted in the form of certified funds. They want their money. Fee and request form must be submitted to 18 5 days prior to expiration. And hard copies must be remitted with the fee to 18's office. Fee must be made payable, to HUD. And it must include supporting documentation, including current lender letter or proof of cash funds and extension fee. And this is the address where you would overnight that to. Get that later if that's needed. Waived fees available, delays on HUD or 18 or FSM. Those are the only reasons when the fee is waived. The owner occupied will be granted 1 free extension when there has been a delay with financing and all buyer documentations have been submitted timely at the discretion of 18. 2 free extensions will be granted in a 15-day increment for 203K loans. A buyer will not be reimbursed for lender lock rate extensions regardless of the cause. All extensions are subject to approval by the 18th. Make sure you complete your walkthroughs at least one day prior to the day of closing. If the lockbox is removed, just please make contact with your local listing broker to get the key. If there are any issues with vandalism, etc., contact the A-team and or your local listing broker. Contact them both. They both need to know about that. Closing will be postponed until the issues are resolved and extensions are waived in that case. Post-closing, the buyer can now have utilities activated for permanent use and occupy their premises. This is after closing. The selling agent, listing broker coordinates to ensure the buyer is able to gain access to the property, and no keys are provided to the buyer and or its agent. The buyer must have the locks rekeyed post-closing at their expense. Okay. Advertising, this is real quick. Could you advertise a HUD home? Yes, any agent may advertise a HUD home, but please abide by the following guidelines. Advertise HUD homes in a professional, ethical, and positive manner. Please refer to properties as HUD homes, HUD owned, or HUD acquired, and always include the equal housing opportunity logo and or statement right here in the corner on your flyers. It's always a courtesy, although you can market any HUD property, but I still always just give the listing agent a courtesy email and let them know that I'm going to be marketing the property. That's a respectful thing to do. And there's also other verbiage that should go on the your marketing for HUD, but you can definitely market a HUD home for sure. Know any flood plain zones or any other warning information that appears on the property's internet listing, and make sure you adhere to all the federal, state, county, city, real estate commissions, advertising regulations, and the Truth in Lending Act when advertising HUD homes. Things not to do. Advertise homes before they are listed. Don't do that. Do not use HUD or FHA logos, seals, HUD in the handbook. Don't use any of those, their logos. State or imply the price of the property differs from the list price. Make sure it's correct, and it's the price that's shown at the HUD website, and do not give out HUD keys. Please don't do that. Don't refer to or advertise HUD homes as distressed, repo, or foreclosed, or repossessed, or must sell. Especially, I mean, if you're marketing someone else's listing, just be sure that you follow the guidelines, because we don't want to get in any trouble, neither do you. Don't advertise that it's destroyed, damaged, or remove advertising or signage from another HUD registered broker. You can advertise in newspapers, home magazines, flyers, billboards, seminars, social media, internet postcards, message boards, email lists, Craigslist, or TV or radio. There you go, Tom. All right, I did a great job. I got it done in timely. Are there any questions? I know I spoke kind of fast, but I think you guys got the gist of the workshop there. I thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Serina, one of the questions is a little confusion. So the listing agent gets 3%. What does the buyer's agent get, and how do they receive it?
3%.
And how do they receive it?
Same as any other property when it closes. You get your 3% through escrow. There
you go.
Yep. Isn't that cool? 3%?
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, we need more HUD properties. Okay, so any other questions? We've got some, I think we have some time. Do you have any questions regarding the offers?
No, I think you did a great job. Thank you so much for helping us today. And you want to put your contact information in the chat box in case somebody has, more questions specifically for you?
I sure will. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm supposed to take date stamp pictures to prove I have this workshop.
By the way, I'm not going to share everything, but Serina has a pretty significant event tomorrow. So she's an absolute trooper for being here today. So Serina, thank you so much. I know you've been over backwards to make this happen for my group. So thank you.
Yes, anything for you, Russ. I love you so much. I'm having surgery tomorrow, so I've been fasting for the past few days, and I'm just kind of weak and tired, and a little delirious, but quick story. I was in Vegas at a conference with Russ and a few other of us REO agents, and at like 3 a.m, I was in so much pain, and Russ was like, "Oh my God, Russ has a car," and thank him so much. He got up out of his bed, I think, or 3 or 4, whatever it was, and got dressed and rushed me to the emergency room in Vegas. I ended up staying there for a few days. So anything for us. I love you so much, and thank you guys.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you, when Serina calls you at 3 a.m. and says she wants to go to the hospital, there's something wrong, because she's one of the toughest chicks I know. And I was like, absolutely, if you want to go to the hospital right now, there's got to be something terrible going on. So best of luck tomorrow. We'll be praying for you for sure. And then I know we were trying to make this a little more of a team call. So if anybody has anything exciting to share, I do have a really cool REO listing coming on the market. Any of you that are on my social media, you'll see the river properties. This is going to be the best of the 3 because it has the best setup. I got a duplex for sale downtown, and because of the whole MLS debacle, it was pending for 2 weeks when it wasn't actually pending, and we couldn't change the status. So if you got any duplex buyers, let me know. Anybody else have any big wins or anything they want to share? Don, Tom, anybody in the group?
Gosh, I've got, it's not public yet, but I've got 2 brokerages joining us this month. So I'm pretty excited about that. Really a big boost. That the boost program itself has really lit a fire in the indie brokers, and the amount of financial incentive that they're giving them, and then allowing them to keep those agents at our organization and then scale from there, I think has really been a game changer. So I know that Russ, you and I actually had some pretty significant conversations as well yesterday with folks. But yeah, I mean, I've actually got 2 joining in the next 30 days that will be significant. So
was one of them the one that Treva and I chatted with this last week? She's coming, right? Her group.
Which one?
Well, I don't want to say the name because you didn't disclose it, but the one that I chatted with last week and just so happened to have Treva on the line.
Oh, that would be a separate one from what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
she's coming for sure. So she was pretty certain. So very cool. Congratulations, Don.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any big wins? Anything anybody else wants to share? Awesome. Well, I guess today is Wednesday. Tomorrow, don't forget the huddle, right? I think it's called the realtorhuddle.com. That's Brent's meeting at 10. And then Friday, we have Freedom Friday on Friday. Tom, I don't know if you're still around, but do you want to give everybody a quick hit on who's going to be on Friday?
Yeah. This Friday, we've got Tony Amaretto, and he's going to share how to sell new construction, because the new home builders, they've got inventory that they've got to sell. They've got to move. So that's Freedom Friday. Tony Amaretto.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your week. Happy hump day.